Are we live? Are we live? Okay. Excellent connection. Test it. I just wanna talk about a little bit about what I discovered. Okay. Connection. Okay, so we're on. Okay, so basically, I don't know. The difficulty that I had making this was first due to because I wasn't familiar. I wasn't looking at the angles. Like, look at this. Look at this eyes, her eyes. So her face is tilted a little bit, right? And then her face is like, since she has like the angles of her eye, I was like caught up in that, how deep her eyes go in here and then pop out here. So her bone structure here is kind of deep here, but it's actually at her sides here, corner, it's a little bit out. So that's what makes her eyes look a little bit Asian, right? I think she's Russian. I don't know. I don't know who she is actually. So, uh, to solve that, the way I solved that was I actually drew all of these lines as simple lines. So first, I realized that I wasn't looking at the shapes actually. I wasn't looking at the shapes. I was more focused on a lot of things, like how she looks, her expression, her energy. I was so caught up in that I forgot to look at this simple shape here for the eyes. If you look at the eyes here, it's very simple. So it's just like an eye that is a little bit thicker here in the upper eyelid. Her eyeballs are a little bit higher in her eye socket, so maybe she has a little bit smaller eye socket here. I don't know. So that's the first, and that actually started the ball rolling for me. So instead of starting from, like, again from the shape, like from the forms, I kind of started working on like finding just the thickness again, just like what we did before. So I just looked at the thickness, divided it up according to the photo. Like this one is like 3 parts from her corner here to the middle, the nose, then here. It's like almost 3 parts, right? So that's what I got here. Still almost 3 parts. So I got that width, and then when I got that width, I then just shifted everything, right? The position of the eyes, and just went horizontal and just figured out how to work on that. It was a slow process still, but at least it was a little more comfortable because I was not focused on the details, but actually the shapes. It's like drawing a 2D object. It's more like drawing a 2D image more than thinking in 3D. So I think that's the tip there. Like if you want to draw, if you want to get like a preliminary, the best thing to do is to think of the image that we're trying to copy as a 2D, convert it into like a 2D drawing instead of thinking more of the 3D on the first run. So when we start with something like this, like the face mask, like people teach us to do this face mask, right? And it's very helpful for aligning. Like for example, our paper size. Like if we want the size of our paper first, if we want to measure how to fit the face, I'll just focus on the face instead of the entire silhouette, like the hair and that's too complicated, right? Look at this. It's too much, too many angles, too many change, right? And if I cut it around here and stuff, I'm still gonna have to make all of this. So one solution that I found is to actually make this face mask, right? So just make a face mask, not the actual sphere and stuff, just make a face mask. So by practicing creating face masks, we can actually speed up our placement. They call it placement. Depending on the angle of the face, like here, I measured it to something like this because that's how the camera kind of distorts your face. Like makes things smaller around here, or maybe that's just how the angle of the face works. But I think by continuing to like make just face masks, just draw face masks in different positions, like front positions. You can draw like a frontal face mask, right? It's gonna help us speed up our drawing next time. So the purpose of this is to simply just to position our subjects, right? So the face mask is used the same way as they use the sphere with the Loomis method. But I think for me the face mask is so much better because it cuts off everything else and it lets us like simplify the form or the shape that we want to capture. Like for example here, I'll just cut the side, maybe it's a 3/4, so it's almost like maybe further 1/4 maybe. So we can just, you know, quickly make a face mask like this. It's going to give us like this will be where the ear will come off. So we kind of have a measurement where we should like start, right? Okay, so I got this. This is my paper size, for example. So I have this. I want the face to be right here, so I can just place the, you know, sides here, center, cut it into 3, and just judge if that's the right dimension or if this is where I want to start. Maybe I could move in around here, move it around, and just start with that. Again, this is like one way to do it. I don't know if this is so much more complicated, but right now for me, I think this is what's working, and I think this is what's been working for me for a long time. I just forgot it because of all the tutorials that I've been watching, like suggesting so many things, and sometimes we forget our natural like process. We're watching too much education. So I think it's better to sometimes just sit down and turn off your YouTube, listen to some music, and then just, you know, figure things out. But I think this could be helpful to someone out there, somebody. So how to use it is very simple. So let's say we have our face here, so we kind of know where the face is turning, right? Kind of know where it's supposed to be looking. So this is the forehead here. Then we can do some adjustments, like we know that this is where center of the forehead is gonna be. So depending on the angle, we can just, start by creating this, like cutting stuff, right? Looking for that depth that we want, right? That we need. Cutting here. So it's so much more flexible to do this. Like for example, like this is the tip of eyebrows here, the brows. So I can just like go like this, maybe find the angle there, and then just start from there, like start cutting from there. Or maybe the angle is not that deep, maybe it's a little bit lower here. You could go there and just start like we could find where these edges are that defines the form, right? Eyebrows, this is the nose bridge. So we can start like we have locations where to like base our, based on that our initial like measurements here, it becomes like our grid now, becomes like our anchor points. Like we have 3 anchor points here that we can use to base where to find, like to triangulate a certain point, right? Because it's much more accurate to triangulate something than to just use to spot guess where something is. Really hard to spot guess something. Like, okay, this is where the nose should be most likely, but I can only anticipate where that is based on these points here, this triangle here, right? So if I have both of these points, I can triangulate where the tip of the nose here is, right? Though there's always our thirds here that we can use as a point to where our nose is. We can reinforce that by the angle here. We can check if it's really that big or maybe it's smaller, right? Especially for angled expressions like this. This is not this is a little bit challenging to do, though it kind of looks like it's equal, but it's not. Like, and it's the angle is actually divergent. It's like 1, 2, 3. There's 2 angles here, so there's a lift, right? So it's hard to just mark it down and cut it off like this, right? So if we have something like this, we draw the mask first. Like we can then adjust where to angle the mask, and we can create these lines in the mask. So it's so much more easier to create the mask, for me at least, because I have already like an idea of the volume of the face that I'm trying to draw. So my focus is on the face and not the hair. The hair is just like to me, the hair is just like another encapsulation of this entire face. This is the entire face for me, right? The hair is not included, so it's just part of like the another. It could be like a head covering or anything like that. So I hope that's helpful. So I'll just put it out there. Maybe it can be helpful to someone. So if you want to practice what I learned, is again to notice the shapes. Like I started drawing her eyes. After I did this, I started to draw her eyes and draw that other picture, starting with the eyes and stuff like that. So it kind of showed me and confirmed that, you know, these are the things that I've been missing. Like why was it so hard to do in the first place? Like, why was this so hard? Like, how is this so hard? Because I was focused on a lot of things. So it was so much easier for me to start from a focal point. So I started cutting. I started like looking for that third. Then she does kind of have that third. So I just found that, and then how does it differ to all of this? So in short, what I wanted the other day was to be able to just like see a photo and then have like a photographic memory, something that I can see the photo right there. It's like I'm just tracing the photo on top of the paper with my imagined picture of her. So I quickly realized at that juncture that that was not something I could do. So maybe some people out there can do it, like those people on the streets who can draw you like quickly. But I think for me, it's not. I'm not there yet, or maybe it's something that would take me like more years to develop because it takes a lot of time to even make this. Like it takes a lot of energy to do it. So I'd rather like spend more time designing the image than achieving a likeness. So I'm changing my priorities right now. I don't want to go deep into this because we already have photos, we already have printers, right? And it's so much easier for for models to just pose for us and then just use a 50 degree angled lens and just capture a perspective, like a semi-perspective photo, and then just paint from that. So though the colors would not be correct because of the limitations of a camera, it's still fine. So next time, maybe I will do a trace of this photo, and then I'll try to uh, like record how to paint it like quite easily, like quite speedily, easily, without too much bother, without too much thought. So we're gonna focus on shading forms or shading painting forms with the transfer. So we're gonna start with the transfer, how to transfer it successfully, and how to make it look, how to transfer quickly without too much effort, and how to paint it quickly or more comfortably without too much thinking of like painting in details. Because as far as I've seen on the internet, most of them teach in such a way that you're painting actually like painting by numbers, right? So you're painting here with this color and then adjust that color and paint here, and then paint this with this color and then adjust your color and then paint here. So I wanted to make it like a little more fluid, a little more intuitive. Like, okay, let's paint this color here, and let's paint this color here, and then we can then play around as we go. So we don't want to focus too much on painting a lot. So I want to simplify the process, and since I kind of have an idea of how to do that, and I haven't really finished like the entire process because time constraints and stuff, so I just want to make this simple one, just one time, and then just get over it. And maybe some people find it there in the future and find it very useful, because I took like a year finding all of this information, and it's really, for my way of thinking, it was kind of hard to digest all of those half-baked tutorials that are meant to like send you to a paid like firewall, a paid website. Anyway, that's it from me for now, and I hope to see you next time.